Something serious is brewing, and fans are starting to feel like this isn't just rap drama anymore. When you hear the name Jay Prince, you think power, respect, and the long-standing presence in the streets and the music industry. When you hear NBA YoungBoy, you think raw energy, controversy, and one of the most loyal fan bases in hip hop today. Now imagine those two names being mentioned in the same sentence, but not in a good way. That's exactly what's happening right now, and people are watching closely. Over the past few days, social media has been going crazy. Fans are shocked, emotions are running high, and while nothing is confirmed, the rumors, reactions, and tension are building into something that feels bigger than just music. Some people are saying YoungBoy has been banned from Houston. Others are questioning what that really means. Is it symbolic? Is it serious? Or is this just another internet narrative getting out of control? But here's where things get intense. Jay Prince isn't just any name in Houston, he represents influence, legacy, and connections that run deep. So when his name starts trending alongside a younger artist like YoungBoy, who's already been surrounded by controversy, it raises eyebrows. Fans believe this situation could escalate. Social media is filled with theories. Some people think it's just clout, others feel like there's something deeper happening behind the scenes. And as the story continues to unfold, one question keeps coming up. How did things even get to this point? Because if what people are saying holds any truth, this might be one of the most serious situations hip hop has seen in a while. Let's break it all down. The tension between Jay Prince and NBA YoungBoy didn't just appear overnight. It's been quietly building in the background, and now fans feel like it's starting to boil over in a way nobody expected. What makes this situation so intense isn't just the names involved, but the weight they carry in hip hop culture. On one side, you have Jay Prince, a respected industry figure known for his deep influence and long standing connections, especially in Houston. On the other side, NBA YoungBoy, one of the most streamed and controversial artists of this generation, whose raw energy and unapologetic persona have earned him both loyal fans and constant headlines. It all started to gain attention when subtle comments, interviews, and social media activity began to line up in a way that fans couldn't ignore. People started connecting dots, replaying clips, and analyzing every word. Some fans believe that certain statements made by Jay Prince hinted at tension with younger artists who weren't showing respect to the OGs of the game. While he didn't directly name NBA YoungBoy at first, social media quickly filled in the blanks, and the speculation spread like wildfire. At the same time, NBA YoungBoy's own moves didn't go unnoticed. Known for speaking his mind through music and online posts, fans began to question whether some of his lyrics and statements were indirect responses. Nothing was confirmed, but the timing had people talking. Social media was going crazy, with fans debating whether this was just coincidence or the early stages of something much deeper. Emotions ran high as both sides of the fan base began defending their favorite figure. Things escalated when discussions about Houston started entering the conversation. Jay Prince has long been associated with the city's music scene, almost like a gatekeeper figure in the eyes of many fans. So when rumors began circulating that NBA YoungBoy might not be welcome in Houston, it immediately raised eyebrows. Some people think this was a symbolic statement more than anything else, while others took it very seriously. Still, nothing is confirmed, and neither side has made a clear, direct announcement about any kind of official ban. The idea alone, though, was enough to spark intense reactions. Fans are shocked because Houston isn't just any city, it's a major hub for hip hop culture, and being banned from a place like that carries a certain weight, whether it's real or just internet speculation. People started asking questions. Is this about respect? Is it about business? Or is it something deeper that the public doesn't fully understand yet? As the conversation grew louder, more voices started joining in. Bloggers, commentators, and even other artists began sharing their thoughts, each adding a new layer to the story. Some took Jay Prince's side, emphasizing the importance of respecting those who paved the way. Others sided with NBA YoungBoy, arguing that the new generation moves differently and doesn't have to follow the same rules. People are divided, and the debate shows no signs of slowing down. What makes this situation even more complicated is the history behind both figures. IJ Prince isn't just another industry executive, he's someone who has been involved in some of the most pivotal moments in Southern hip hop. Meanwhile, NBA YoungBoy represents a new era, one driven by streaming numbers, viral moments, and direct fan engagement. This clash isn't just personal, it feels like a generational shift playing out in real time. As of now, everything remains in a gray area. There are strong opinions, heated discussions, and plenty of theories, but very few confirmed facts. Fans are watching closely, waiting for either side to speak more directly. Until then, the tension continues to build, and the question remains, what really sparked all of this, and where is it headed next? As the situation kept gaining momentum, the energy online shifted from curiosity to full blown chaos. Social media was going crazy, with clips, as tweets, and reposts flooding timelines every hour. Fans weren't just watching anymore, they were picking sides, breaking down interviews frame by frame, and trying to uncover what they believed was really happening behind the scenes. The names Jay Prince and NBA YoungBoy were suddenly everywhere, trending side by side in a way that felt bigger than just music. Things really started heating up when older footage and past statements resurfaced online. Fans began digging into previous interviews involving Jay Prince, pointing out moments where he spoke about respect, loyalty, and how certain lines should never be crossed. Some people think those words carry more weight now, especially when viewed through the lens of this current situation. At the same time, ONB, a young boy's past controversies and outspoken nature were brought back into the spotlight, adding even more fuel to the fire. Then came the reactions. Not direct responses, at least not officially, but subtle moves that had fans reading between the lines. NBA YoungBoy, known for letting his emotions spill into his music, dropped new content that many listeners felt had a different tone. Some fans believe certain lyrics hinted at frustration or defiance, though nothing was explicitly aimed at Jay Prince. Still, the timing was enough to send social media into overdrive. Comment sections turned into debates, and emotions ran high as listeners tried to decode every bar. Meanwhile, Jay Prince maintained a composed public image, but even that silence started to speak volumes. Some people think his lack of direct response was intentional, as a way of showing control and authority without needing to say too much. Others felt it only added more mystery to the situation. In hip hop, silence can sometimes be louder than words, and fans couldn't stop speculating about what it really meant. The Houston narrative also grew stronger during this time. Conversations about who is welcome and who isn't began circulating more heavily, even though nothing is confirmed. Fans started sharing stories, both real and rumored, about how the city operates and the influence certain figures have within it. Some believe Jay Prince's presence in Houston carries an unspoken power, while others argue that today's artists move independently and aren't bound by those same dynamics. This clash of perspectives only made the situation feel more intense. Adding another layer to the drama, other voices in the hip hop community began chiming in. Bloggers and commentators dropped their own takes, with some warning that situations like this can escalate quickly if not handled carefully. A few even suggested that this could turn into something much bigger than a war of words if tensions aren't cooled down. Again, these are just opinions and concerns. Nothing is confirmed, but they added to the growing sense of unease among fans. At the same time, NBA YoungBoy's fanbase remained fiercely loyal. Supporters flooded social media defending him, arguing that he's simply being himself and shouldn't have to conform to anyone else's expectations. On the flip side, Jay Prince's supporters emphasized his legacy and the respect he commands in the industry. People are divided, and the gap between both sides seems to be getting wider by the day. When what really caught attention during this phase was how quickly the narrative evolved. One day, it felt like subtle tension, and the next, it felt like a full blown situation with real stakes. Even casual fans who weren't initially paying attention found themselves pulled into the story, trying to understand what was actually going on. The mix of mystery, history, and speculation created a perfect storm that kept everyone watching. Despite all the noise, there's still a major lack of clear answers. No official statements confirming a ban, no direct confrontation, and no definitive explanation of what sparked this tension in the first place. Yet somehow, that uncertainty is exactly what's keeping the story alive. Fans are watching every move, every post, and every lyric, waiting for the moment when something finally becomes clear. And as the pressure continues to build, one thing is certain: the situation is no longer just background noise. It's front and center, and whatever happens next could change everything. Now the situation starts to feel heavier, like the energy has shifted from loud internet chatter into something people are genuinely watching with concern. What once felt like speculation is now being talked about as if it carries real world weight, even though nothing is confirmed. The names J Prince and NBA Youngboy are no longer just trending. They're being discussed in a tone that feels more serious, more cautious, and more intense. Fans began noticing that the conversation itself had changed. Early on, it was debates and theories, but now it's questions about safety, respect, and what could happen next. And comments started appearing everywhere saying things like, "This doesn't feel like regular rap beef," or "This could turn into something bigger." That shift in tone says a lot about how people are interpreting the situation. Even without confirmation, the emotional weight of it all has increased. At the same time, speculation reached another level. Some people believe this situation might involve deeper industry dynamics that the public doesn't fully see. Others think it could be tied to personal respect and how certain actions or words are perceived in different regions. There are also fans who feel like everything is being exaggerated and that the internet has created a narrative that's bigger than reality. The truth is, no one outside those directly involved really knows, but that hasn't stopped the theories from spreading. The Houston itself became a major part of the conversation. It's not just a location, it represents culture, identity, and history in hip hop. So when people started talking about someone potentially not being welcome there, it added a serious layer to the discussion. Some fans believe that stepping into certain cities comes with expectations, while others argue that today's artists operate globally and aren't tied down by those same rules. This difference in perspective continues to divide opinions. Meanwhile, NBA Youngboy's movements, or lack of visible reaction, kept fans guessing. Known for being outspoken, his relative quietness in directly addressing the situation made people read even deeper into his music and online presence. Some listeners believe his recent releases carry subtle messages, while others think fans are simply overanalyzing everything. Either way, every move he makes is being watched closely, and every lyric is being interpreted as possible evidence. On the other side, Jay Prince's calm and controlled approach has only added to his image. Some people think his silence is intentional, a way of maintaining authority without engaging publicly. Others feel like it leaves too much room for speculation, allowing the narrative to grow without any clear direction. In situations like this, the absence of a clear statement can sometimes create more tension than an actual response. What makes this moment even more intense is how the industry is reacting behind the scenes. While no major public confrontations have taken place, there are hints, small comments, indirect references, and subtle warnings that keep the conversation alive. Some voices in hip hop have suggested that situations involving respect and territory should be handled carefully, while others believe this is just another example of how quickly things can escalate online. Fans are also starting to ask practical questions. Would NBA YoungBoy perform in Houston right now? Would promoters even book a show? Would anything actually happen if he showed up? Or is all of this just perception? These questions don't have clear answers, but the fact that people are asking them shows how real the situation feels to the audience. At the same time, there are still people trying to bring logic into the conversation. Some fans argue that no official actions have taken place, no confirmed restrictions exist, and no direct conflict has been publicly acknowledged, as they believe the entire situation might be a product of social media amplifying small details into something much larger. And honestly, that's a possibility that can't be ignored. Still, the tension remains. It's in the comments, the reactions, the silence, and the constant speculation. It's the kind of situation where even the smallest move could shift everything. Right now, it feels like the story is sitting at a turning point, with fans waiting to see whether things will calm down or escalate even further. And until something clear is said or done, the uncertainty will continue to drive the conversation forward. At this stage, everything feels like it's balancing on the edge of something bigger, yet nothing has fully tipped over. The tension surrounding Jay Prince and NBA YoungBoy hasn't faded. In fact, it feels more concentrated, like all the speculation, reactions, and silence have built into a moment where anything could happen next. Fans are still locked in, watching closely, waiting for that one clear move or statement that might finally explain what's really going on. What makes this moment stand out is the uncertainty. There's no confirmed timeline, no official announcement, and no direct confrontation that people can point to and say, that's where everything changed. Instead, it's a collection of moments, clips, reactions, interpretations that together created a narrative powerful enough to feel real, even if nothing is confirmed. Some people believe this is exactly how situations like this grow, starting from small misunderstandings and turning into something much bigger through public perception alone. As the days pass, fans have started to notice how both sides continue to move carefully. There are no reckless statements, no direct callouts, no obvious escalation, and that careful movement has led some to believe that conversations might be happening behind the scenes. Unconfirmed reports suggest that when situations involve figures with influence and artists with massive platforms, things are often handled privately before anything becomes public. Of course, nothing is confirmed, but the possibility alone keeps people talking. At the same time, the idea of Houston remains at the center of everything. The city has become more than just a location in this story. It feels like a symbol of respect, power, and legacy. Fans continue to debate what it really means to be banned from a place like that. Some people think it's not a literal ban, but rather a statement about respect and relationships. Others take it more seriously, feeling like it represents a real boundary that shouldn't be crossed. Either way, the phrase itself has taken on a life of its own. Meanwhile, NBA YoungBoy's presence in the conversation hasn't slowed down at all. Every move he makes, whether it's music, social media activity, or even silence, is being analyzed. Some fans believe he's intentionally staying quiet to avoid escalating things, while others think he's letting the situation play out on its own. His supporters continue to stand by him, arguing that he's built his career on doing things his own way and doesn't need to conform to anyone else's expectations. On the other side, Jay Prince's reputation continues to shape how people interpret the situation. His name alone carries weight when and for many fans, that influence adds a level of seriousness to everything being discussed. Some believe his approach shows control and patience, while others think it leaves too much room for speculation. Either way, his presence in the narrative keeps the conversation grounded in something that feels bigger than just internet drama. What's really interesting is how divided people remain. One side sees this as a serious situation rooted in respect and real world dynamics. The other side sees it as a narrative built by social media, where small details are amplified into something much larger than reality. Both perspectives continue to clash, and without clear answers, neither side is backing down. There's also a growing sense that whatever happens next could shift everything. If either side speaks directly, it could calm things down, or it could intensify the situation even more. If nothing is said, the speculation will likely continue, possibly growing even stronger over time. That's the position this story is in right now: uncertain, unresolved, and full of potential outcomes. And that's what keeps people watching. It's not just about what has happened, but what could happen. The silence, the reactions, the theories, they all create a sense that something is still unfolding, even if it's happening quietly. For now, all anyone can do is wait, watch, and try to make sense of a situation where the biggest details are still missing. And now, it all comes down to this: we've got tension, we've got silence, we've got fans going back and forth, and still, no clear answers. The names Jay Prince and NBA YoungBoy carry serious weight, and when they're even remotely connected in a situation like this, people pay attention. Right now, emotions are high, fans are shocked, social media is still going crazy, and the biggest question still hasn't been answered. Is this a real situation behind the scenes? Or is the internet turning speculation into something bigger than it actually is? Nothing is confirmed, but the tension? That feels real. So let me ask you this: what do you think really happened? Do you think NBA YoungBoy is actually not welcome in Houston? Or is this whole thing being blown out of proportion? And do you think Jay Prince will eventually speak on it directly, or keep things moving in silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really trying to see where everyone stands on this. If you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Because trust me, if anything changes in this situation, you already know we're breaking it down first. Stay locked in.